On the horizon in Booth Bay Harbor, where one group is working to protect the working waterfront. Meanwhile, in Portland, a new development about a proposed development today. We'll share the details.
Why some rules around vacation rentals in this one very small section of town could affect rules in the rest of the state of Maine.
And we'll take a look at how some kids are helping puppies and puppies are helping them. This is News Center now.
Plans for a boutique hotel on one of Portland's busiest wharves are scrapped. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. In a letter to the city this week, the developer David Bateman spelled out his plan to drop the hotel portion of the project. Construction was slated to happen at the site of the Portland Lobster Company on Fisherman's Wharf.
Now, this announcement coming on the heels of a newly enacted working waterfront group, which just started holding regular meetings with the city. When Bateman announced the plans last year, he said the 93-room hotel and mixed-use space would be an asset for the city. After city councilors approved a 6-month moratorium on any new waterfront development, Bateman announced he would change his plans, quote, considerably to accommodate members of the commercial fishing industry who have voiced concerns about overcrowding on Commercial Street.
But today he clarified his project will pivot from the original plan. A spokesperson for Bateman Partners LLC tells News Center Maine it was a decision that transpired within the last 48 hours and it's time to regroup, saying in part, quote, it's too early to say what a redesign will look like. They just spent several months designing new working waterfront features into their project, but events conspired to deny them the chance to present those ideas to anybody.
Meanwhile, as part of that new working waterfront group, the city conducted its first property and building inventory of the waterfront in several years. It's supposed to be conducted every year. They found in December that since 2012, there was an 8% drop in area available to marine use.
Meanwhile, in Booth Bay Harbor, the Board of Selectmen is preparing to review a rezoning proposal around the working waterfront district there.
30 years ago, the conversation started there as well. Zoning was established to protect the east side of what they call the Maritime District. Now, for more than a year, the Planning Board has been holding public hearings as it reviews a proposal to rezone that district to allow redevelopment of hotels like Captain Fish. This is the aim of a local philanthropist, Paul Colum. He wants to increase tax revenue by attracting more tourists to the area.
We had a rendering of Captain Fish when I had signed a purchase and sale agreement, and we were spending in the realm of 20 to 30 million, and that would generate between 250 and 300,000 additional tax revenue to the town. So it's significant.
And people all say when they get here, what they like about Booth Bay Harbor is that it feels authentic. It doesn't feel like Disneyland, where buildings were built to make tourists feel like they're in a fishing place.
Now, those who oppose Colum's plan say they are concerned about protecting the working waterfront and want more public access to the water. They formed a group called Friends of the Harbor. Both sides, though, say after the latest public hearing with the Planning Board, there appears to be a compromise in the works. And coming up on Monday on News Center Now, we are going to have much more on this story.
All right, coming up right now, we're going to take a look about 16 feet in this direction where Keith Carson is standing right over here.
Are we redrawing the zoning lines?
16 feet, right?
In the
10
studio?
feet.
Probably less, 10
feet.
Yeah. Well, you got closer to me.
Yes. I was just measuring a house today. That's why I was like, 16? No, that's too far. All right. 22 in Wiscasset, 23 in Portland. These are your high temperatures for today. Just got to 10 in Berlin, 7, though it stayed in Greenville with that nasty little wind chill out there. Current temperatures below 0 already in Greenville, 16 in Portland, 15 in Wiscasset, 13 in Rockland. Winds have been pretty gusty today, 20 to 25 miles an hour in most spots. As I mentioned, Greenville's been the hot spot. I sometimes wonder about their wind sensor, their anemometer, because they have some really high wind gusts, but it's reading 32. It read 41 earlier. Regardless, the winds are strong enough to give us a substantial wind chill. And so at this hour, 5 o'clock, it already feels like 22 degrees below 0 in Greenville. Feels like Portland, feels like 0 in Portland and 6 in Wiscasset. So gonna be cold and clear, so we radiate quickly. Temperatures keep falling overnight. Tonight we get to right around 2, 3 probably along the coastline, but early tomorrow morning, well below 0 into the mountains. And tomorrow is a sunny day, very similar to today, but similarly, we have a hard time warming up. The only good news, guys, is we drop the wind. Looks like the story is relatively quiet for the next 5 days, but cold.
Quiet but cold. Okay, Keith, thanks so much. The 13-year-old Wisconsin girl who's been missing since last fall was found alive 80 miles away from her home. Jamie Kloss had been missing since October 15th when officers found her parents murdered in their Barron County home. 21-year-old Jake Thomas Patterson is now in custody and is charged with 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide and 1 count of kidnapping.
The National Air Traffic Controllers Association filed its lawsuit against the federal government on the 21st day of the partial government shutdown. The lawsuit also is on the first day that some 800,000 federal employees missed their paychecks since the start of the shutdown in December. The union represents workers at both the Portland International Jetport and the Bangor International Airport. A warning tonight about a potential scam that a viewer gave us the heads up about. Ashley says she got a call from a person claiming to be from CMP. They said that she was going to be disconnected if she didn't pay immediately. However, she goes on to say that the person on the phone said you have to go to a retailer and purchase a Green Dot card, then call back another number they give to provide the card information. The Lisbon Police Department also posting about this today, and it's saying it's a scam. Catherine Hartnett from CMP says these scams are always happening, not just with CMP. She says you should always hang up the phone if you are asked to make a payment with any type of card or Green Dot card. All right, in some of Maine's most popular tourist towns, there's been a lot of confusion. We've covered this a lot about what you can and can't do when it comes to rental properties. Town of Bar Harbor considering new rules for people who maybe want to rent out their homes on websites like Airbnb. One of the proposed changes is raising the fee for permits from a one-time cost of $50 to a yearly fee of $250. Chris Costa is looking into this change and what it means in terms of landscape of rules.
Yeah, Leah and Lindsay. So as Bar Harbor is looking into some new regulations, some property owners in South Portland are hoping that a rule change that started this year can be amended. This popular South Portland corner is a community hub. Scratch Baking Company is the center of Willard Square, just blocks from the beach. It's the same area where Shirley Tholman and her husband own a condo, where they stay frequently throughout the year.
It just seemed like a perfect fit for us.
The couple lives in Parsonsfield. When they don't stay in South Portland, they rent it out to offset the cost. Until this year.
I have heard of a couple of others who've applied and have been denied as well.
The city denied their application for a short-term rental permit. South Portland's new ordinance prohibits a non-hosted homestay, like renting it out as an Airbnb, in anything but a single-family detached dwelling unit, aka a house. And only in areas the city classifies as commercial or mixed-use zones.
And it was confusing even up until this point, really what that meant.
The applications that have been denied have been for units that exist within multi-unit buildings.
Assistant City Manager Joshua Rainey says they've only received about 10 applications for these short-term rentals citywide. But in Bar Harbor, the issues are different. People not abiding by the rule of a 5-day minimum stay in a short-term rental. Now the city wants to beef up enforcement, planning to pay for it with a new $250 yearly cost for rental permits.
I'm a staff of pretty much one person. I'm the only code enforcement officer, and realistically there's no way for me to monitor and follow up with 400 or 500 vacation rentals every year.
And where rules have already changed, owners like Shirley have to contact people who have already made reservations for their place and cancel.
It is frustrating because it wasn't expected at all.
And so there's part of the rub for a lot of the property owners. If they've acquired some type of good status or rating on sites like Airbnb or VRBO, something like a super host like in Shirley's case, now having to go back and cancel all of those reservations is dinging that rating. Oh. So it's a big issue for them, as they also have to consider telling their house cleaner who helps clean that property that they're going to have to search for more work. So there is a big ripple effect in all of this. She's hoping that there could be some type of grandfathering in of people who had already had short-term rentals. We're not sure right now really if that's going to be the case because, again, that new law passed and it went into effect at the beginning of the year.
So we thought this had been solved, and now we have more questions.
More
so
confusion,
that's pretty much what happened.
And if you guys have any questions, you guys can always reach out to us. You can email us at asknow@newscentermaine.com, or you can use the hashtag AskNow on social media, and we'll get those questions answered for you as best we can.
Chris, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dozens of children are now U.S. citizens after a ceremony this morning in Portland. The citizenship ceremony took place at the Children's Museum and Theater of Maine in Portland, celebrating 29 kids from 10 different countries. They gained citizenship through their naturalized parent or through adoption.
In Iraq, it's like not dangerous, but I hate the mud and the streets. And here, I like it safe and like more freedom.
So this is a story that caught my attention today. Lady Gaga wants one of her songs removed from the internet. We're going to find out why.
And we'll check out how puppies, I mean it's Friday, so we have to have puppies. Puppies are making a positive effect on a group of kids' lives.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday.
You're not going to be able to hear me again. Lindsay has decided to continue her week of not letting me talk.
Because as
really
Liam
fair.
knows, it's intentional, right, Liam?
It's not fair. I'm being censored.
Tell us about today. What was that like being there? Oh my God, Jess, did you guys just shoot that today?
She does. Hey,
Oh no. Is it? Did you do the Project Heat thing today?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say that was so fast.
Can you hear
I believe so,
people
yeah.
talking to you?
I think the over's out of there. Hey guys, intern Maddie's coming up. She's right there.
My mom's watching. Hi, Mom. Sup?
Jesse, you're gonna love my puppy story. It's coming up in a little bit.
Maddie, what IFB do you have?
Kiri's watching. Lorraine, Ron,
Oh, it
Bob,
is amazing they found that.
Marcus,
they found that lady, isn't it?
Maureen, Ralph,
What's up,
watching
Maureen?
from Mexico, Maine.
What's up, Jeanette?
I know. Paul can't believe that that girl was found alive and safe. Mind
Fred,
blowing.
they won't give me a microphone. Lindsay stole it.
I like that, the fake news thing. That's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, what do you think about this? We're gonna talk about this later on the show, but when it comes to the spread of fake news on Facebook, who do you think is more at fault? There's now concrete data to support, evidence to support. There is an answer to this question. So I'll ask you what you think and then we'll reveal it later. But do you think older people are spreading fake news more or hackers?
What do you need? No.
Well, given those choices, I have my answer.
We just need you to be more.
What's your
in the light,
answer?
so that's
I think
you're
it's older
too far
people.
up front.
I do too.
I think
But you would
older
think
people are
hackers.
spreading fake news more.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like right against
No,
the
I don't even know if it's on purpose. I think if they see it and they don't know any better, so they think it's true, then they go ahead and
You step to your right.
spread it.
There's a chair.
So this study comes from Princeton University and New York University. It's twofold. They say people 65 years of age and over are 7 times more likely to share fake news than those aged
What's up,
18 to
Trevor?
29.
How
Very
about-
interesting.
We have to say goodbye to you because Maddie's coming up now.
Okay, bye guys.
We
We'll
have
be
to
back.
leave so you can see Maddie. Let's go, Maddie!
Whoop.
Hey there, intern Maddie here with your social stop. Lady Gaga is apologizing for collaborating with artist R. Kelly. And now she wants the song removed from the internet. She's talking about her 2013 hit, Do What You Want. And if you're not familiar with the chorus, it repeats the phrase, do what you want with my body. Gaga's apology is in response of the release of the Lifetime docuseries, Surviving R. Kelly, which outlines Kelly's history of sexual abuse. Gaga claims to have been a victim of sexual abuse and has been vocal on social media about her experiences and finding help. She tweeted an apology explaining to fans that she wrote the song during a very, very dark time in her life. In the post, she writes, I am sorry both for my poor judgment when I was young and for not speaking out sooner. I can't go back, but I can go forward. and continue to support women, men, and people of all sexual identities and of all races who are victims of sexual assault. Gaga intends to remove her song off all streaming platforms, including the video of the duo performing at the 2013 American Music Awards. Lee and Lindsay, back to you.
All right, intern Maddie, getting it done.
Usually you don't hear of artists wanting to remove their songs from
well,
the airwaves.
obviously
They want
it's
those
a cause
plays,
that she
but
feels strongly about,
yeah.
and she now has reason to
we're
go ahead
looking
and
at
do
those
that,
lyrics with a different lens. It's very
100%,
interesting. Okay, the biggest predictor, this is something we were just talking about on Facebook Live, of whether someone will share fake news isn't their political affiliation, it's their age. A new study from researchers at Princeton University and New York University found people 65 years of age and over are 7 times more likely to share fake news than those aged 18 to 29. The study looked at the data of over 1,000 respondents who agreed to share fields from their public Facebook profile, along with their timeline posts, external links, and likes.
Okay, you know how people look over the job section to see if there's anything interesting for them? This could be for you. GE Appliances looking for a professional grandma.
I love this.
Really? For 1 year, $50,000. Do you know anybody who wants this job? Because I do. The job is to demonstrate how simple its new technology is. Along with a salary of $50 grand, the grandma will get 5 brand new kitchen products. Mom, are you listening?
Wow.
Some of the qualifications include smiles, laughs, selfies, videos, and social media skills.
I love how those two stories back to back kind of contradict one another, because first we have people age 65 and older are sharing, more apt to share fake news, but then we have GE saying, hey, we'll give you free stuff if you show how great you are
Free
using
stuff
technology.
and 50 grand, so my mom retired, but I'm going to make a phone call here as soon as we get a second. Yep,
Good
time
deal.
to get back to work, Ma. All right, coming up, we're going to get to see puppies and kids, and they're teaching each other some pretty important lessons.
And the guy who always teaches us a lesson in science, Keith. Today's Brain Drops. Let's talk about models. Sweater models.
Well, we can talk about both, but probably.
Bump, bump.
Jesse Timberlake says, thank you, Maddie, for your report. Fred says, hi, Maddie.
Oh, Leo combined both answers to our question earlier, and he said older hackers.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Jesse on that one. I feel like it's the older folks just because they don't take the time to do the research, and they just see it, assume if it's there, it's got to be true. So.
Yeah, you guys remember that story I did like last winter about the fake news curriculum that's now in classes, and I put those South Portland parents to the test. It was basically, that was spelled out right then and there. I basically took this test that kids were learning in Damascotta on how to spot fake news on Facebook. Then I took it to a couple of parents in South Portland of school-age kids, and they didn't pass the test.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Why do you guys think that is?
I mean, I don't know what the age group of those people were, but I mean, we were all in my age group raised that when something is printed or you see it or you read it, it's just true. Like, it's not your first instinct like it is today to question it first and then to see if it's actually true. Like when the paper gets delivered to your doorstep, you pick it up, you read it, you're assuming it's true. When you click on something, and now that stuff has moved online, you're just assuming if it's there, it's true.
But people have become hopefully more skeptical of where it comes from.
Right, but I'm
so when you get the
the age groups, though.
Oh, sure.
So,
but when you get the
everybody's
newspaper,
there.
right? But when you get the newspaper, you know this is a trusted, credible
It was
journalism
printed.
source.
Yeah.
Well,
not far from
when you read one
home.
of your local papers, hopefully you trust or know what degree of credibility you expect from them, right? When you see something from a website you don't necessarily recognize, I mean, I'm not going to make one up, you know what I mean? But there are a ton of them out there, and some of them say, Maine, right in the title.
But those fake websites end up on real sites somehow through advertising, so you can't differentiate that.
We're twinning with our maroon.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that color.
What do you want to say? Anything?
Why don't you go first?
Okay.
Well, just tell me, because I don't know what I'm going to say. Because it's a fun story, but it's a serious story.
Sure. So I'll say, this is something that helped generate. This is something that helped get dogs adopted in like 24 hours last time.
Yeah.
When dogs graduated from this program, they were adopted in less than 24 hours. The last time dogs were Because I know that little tidbit. Is that okay?
Stand by.
Does that make sense? Not really. Okay. All right, you guys know at this point that I'm obsessed with my 2 dogs, Lucy and Tito, and you're obsessed with your 18 million dogs.
With all 23 dogs.
But there's something to be said, right, about how dogs teach us things, they teach us appreciation.
Between people and animals, right? We talk a lot about that on our show. So this is a program that we're about to introduce you to that has worked with adults in prisons all across the country. And then about 5 years ago or so, the idea started getting tossed around. Can we possibly get some kids involved in this? It finally came to fruition, and this is what it looks like. Kids who have to spend their days at the Long Creek Youth Development Center are always looking for something positive to come out of the experience. Now, thanks to a new program, some of them are able to make some positive changes.
Oh my goodness.
The puppy program pairs select student residents of Long Creek with pups for 6 weeks of basic training and companionship. The dogs are housed directly with their student handlers who take care of all of the details like daily care, socialization, crate training, and house training.
It's a canine training program that pairs the youth with rescue puppies. So all of the puppies are coming from shelters where they would have been euthanized. So in a sense, the youth are saving their lives and getting them ready to become adopted.
After the 6 weeks of training, the dogs head to shelters where they ultimately get adopted. Then another set of puppies comes into Long Creek to be trained. It can be hard for the kids to say goodbye to their furry friends.
It's sad when the dogs leave. I don't want to give them up, but I'm just glad that I got to have them for the time and help him and teach him all the stuff that he deserves to have. So,
as much as the kids sacrifice to raise the pups right, they get back from their canine companions so much more.
I need him all the time too, and they definitely need me. He helps me a lot when I'm having a bad day. He helps me. He helps me stay out of trouble also. When I'm thinking about maybe making a bad choice, he helps me think, like calm myself down. And yeah, he is a lot of work, but I like the responsibility that comes with it, and I think it's going to help me when I leave here.
I mean, it's an amazing program, and you saw the effect right there from that young man who's like, listen, you know, this is giving me a skill set. It's like being a parent, learning how to do it. And when I get out of here, I'm going to have that skill set to take with me. So, and puppies. So there you go.
And puppies are a lot of responsibility. That is no joke.
I mean, that's not easy. Like, it's not like those kids get to play with the puppies all day long. That's a lot of work, and they're with them all the time.
A lot of obedience training.
A lot of responsibility there. Great program. Well done.
Has Lee finished his obedience training yet? Karen,
training me or training the puppies?
Yeah, training you. I'll ask Karen. She's usually on there.
Great question. This ice has made it really hard for me to take the dogs out.
I know,
Tito does not like to do his business
on
ice.
How's his stability? Because he does have the...
That's the thing. He's got to find like solid ground to get his footing.
He's down a paw there. So
yeah, he's down a paw.
He's pretty good considering. He can move.
He's got good core strength.
He's jacked in the abs region. 16 in Portland right now, 1 below in Greenville, 4 in Millinocket, 4 in Caribou. Obviously, it's going to be really cold tonight. When you factor in the wind, it already feels like 22 below in Greenville, 14 below in Berlin. By the way, this little hole here is Mount Washington, and it's so far below zero that the map doesn't have a contour for it. I should put it on the map just for fun, but it's got to be 50 below or something like that. Visible satellite, pretty clean, so we're going to radiate fast tonight. These are your low temperatures. Right around zero along the coastline, below zero inland, way below zero into the mountains. And I could imagine some areas that'll be 15, 16 degrees below zero. They're just not featured on our map here. Hour by hour forecast, that's the story. I mean, there's not much else to talk about. Tomorrow is almost exactly the same as today was. A lot of sunshine, but the sun doesn't help us. It's still cold. The winds are a little bit more settled tomorrow, so that's a positive, but it's not going to do you that much good. And then Sunday is another mostly sunny day and another very cold day with temperatures starting below zero and only getting into the teens during the afternoon, and kind of doing it again on Monday. Not a whole lot to talk about there. Cold air continues to rotate down through the weekend into Monday. Get a little bit of a break, it looks like Tuesday, Wednesday. Another cold lobe of air breaks off on Thursday, and then next weekend is up for debate right now. It's either going to be brutally cold or just normal Maine cold. So we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, storms sail to our south. Here comes the next one for Sunday. That's a miss. A couple of snow showers come through on Wednesday night and into Thursday as the front comes through. And then again, the models are really confused about next weekend. Everything from this, which is a big snowstorm, to it just being 20 degrees below zero. Either way, it's likely to be wintry, one way or another. Here's the update on snowfall so far, right around average now. Portland and Bangor, Caribou still pretty high, 76 inches of snow. So snow showers on Wednesday, light snow possible Friday. Again, I'm very interested to see what happens next weekend, mainly because nothing's happening in between. But the models are spitting out some really, really cold stuff next weekend. We'll see if that holds.
Yay. Awesome. So good to see you.
Yay, Mount Washington.
Yay, Key.
-50.
Right, great.
A lot more coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. Amanda Hill is here with a preview. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Lindsay. After 3.5 days of public hearings, the Public Utilities Commission will decide whether to approve or deny Central Maine Power's request to build a transmission line from Quebec. Don Kerrigan looks into the controversial plan. And Maine Senator Angus King takes the floor today, delivering a powerful speech about the thousands of federal workers struggling without a paycheck. Find out what some neighbors are doing to help. That and much more coming up on News Center at 5:30. Back to you.
Thanks so much. Raindrops on the big whiteboard when we come back.
So
Minus 62, you guys, on Mount Washington.
I need the micro here. You just read this.
According to NFL.
You can read out loud.
Oh, according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Patriots
Defensive
defensive coordinator Brian Flores has emerged as the favorite for the Dolphins' head coaching job. Obviously, the Dolphins can't hire Flores until the Patriots wrap up their season, but it looks like he's in line to replace Adam Gase.
Yep.
Gase?
No, Gase.
Gase.
So there you go.
Okay.
They can't hire him until the season's over, which hopefully won't be for a long time. But it looks like it'll be interesting because Adam Gase was with the Dolphins.
Okay.
And he went to the Jets. Brian Flores is with the Patriots, and it looks like he's going to the Dolphins. So they're all in the same division. So it's not very common to have head coaches
emerge from competing teams
in the same division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're always competing, but there's only
Right.
4 teams in that division, and 3 of them are going to be kind of sharing coaches.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting.
Kind of interesting.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks for including me on that one, because otherwise
you
I
have
would
the
have
microphone.
I would have no idea. Oh, that's the only reason.
And nobody's going to hear me. So anyway, that's what's going to happen. But they can't hire him until the season's over.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Is Maddie still an intern, right? Because she's still till May.
Do you want to do the plowing story? Isaac's wondering.
I thought it was cute, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I liked your script. I'm gonna move the camera back
Busy weekend?
so we can have the problem.
Yeah, we got a actually weather team lunch tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
It's gonna be nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
Justin.
Meeting with a builder too, another builder. We're trying to suss out some people.
Sure.
Then what are we doing Sunday? Oh, we're going to see my dad and Okay.
On Sunday?
This place in New Hampshire, yeah. Okay.
It's funny, it's my dad's birthday this weekend, and I will call him regardless, but I have to especially call him this weekend because I need something.
Oh, good.
I usually only call my dad when I need something.
You should do it. You should call first for the need and then call on his birthday.
Yeah.
It's better that way.
That's true, so maybe that'll be
See,
my
this is the thing about being 35. Like, I can't. I've long disavowed any like need or ask for anything from my parents.
Mhm.
But I know people who are like 45 are still doing it. But I just like get too proud about it like that.
Sure.
Unless it's like watching a baby.
Yeah, I more so need his guidance.
All right, check out this That's So Maine moment when you don't have a plow, but you've got some ratchet straps, some plywood, and that always important degree from the Institute of Good Old Yankee Ingenuity. That
What is
how
happening?
you get
It's
some
like a
plowing done.
Zamboni.
That's what you
Oh,
gotta.
they're backing in to
Yeah,
move
you gotta
the
get
snow?
some plowing done right there,
This
buddy.
is MacGyvering
Come on,
at
that's
its
what
finest.
you do.
It's probably good for your car.
You know they're using duct tape too right there. There's got to be some duct tape involved.
Ah.
Doesn't work without duct tape.
MacGyvering.
Nothing works without duct
I
tape.
don't think I would do it. All right, Isaac, do we have the question? Okay, let's hit it. Another question. This one's via email. Brian asked me, so when the temperatures were so far off in that last storm, he said, do you know if modelers use a feedback loop? And so what he's asking essentially is, does the model know it? Can it be told it's wrong, re-enter the data, and start over again? The short answer is no, because of the amount of time it takes to get the computer model to run. So they run every 6 hours, the European model and the American GFS and the other models that we don't care about. So what happens is we take currents, so everything from temperatures, dew point, satellite imagery, all of this is ingested into the model. That takes 2 hours to happen. It's all the data from all over the world, right? Because it has to see it as a system. Then the model starts crunching the numbers. Believe it or not, even with today's supercomputers, this takes 3 to 5 hours to solve all the equations in the atmosphere that we know to predict the future. Then you get your output. So the difference between the input time and the output time is about 6 hours. So what happens is, if the model thinks it's going to be 32, 38, 41, and it's actually 25, it can't crunch the numbers fast enough. And that's why the very basic premise that everybody knows, that the longer out you go, the more the errors get compounded. And so our biggest hurdle in weather forecasting isn't our knowledge, it's still computing power, believe it or not. If we could crunch these numbers in a half hour, we would be just ballparking 10 or 15% more accurate.
So I hate to ask the question, but why forecast so far out if you can't be sure about it? And I know it's probably not in your control, and I know we're out of time. So maybe we can address that moving
That's
forward.
tomorrow's Monday's brain drop.
There you go.
Monday's brain drops. Very good. New Center Maine at 5:30 starts now.
I didn't know we were out of time. Sorry, I wouldn't have asked that.
Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
I mean, the question would be,
the short answer is,
why put yourself on a limb if